Hi, Wendy families. So I wanted to give you a little video today just to remind ourselves how to do an assignment in Google Classroom. So usually we do our assignments in Seesaw, or we do them on paper and then take a picture and submit it. We're going to start doing a few more assignments right in Google Classroom because we're starting to become a bit more capable with our reading and our writing. And I know that some of us have been practicing our typing. If you haven't been practicing your typing, every day under challenge activities, I've linked a great typing program that you can look at to practice to become a better typer. Okay, so we're going to start this week. Every day we're going to have a Google Classroom assignment, and we'll see how we do with those, and we'll get better and better at it. So when we have a Google Classroom assignment, it will be linked in the daily planner. Just like our Seesaw assignments are linked in the daily planner, you can go and click there and it'll take you there. The other way you can get to it is just by going into classwork, like we normally go to get our daily planners, and you'll see an assignment. So of course, this is my pretend class, so I can show you what it looks like as a student, but you go in classwork, and then under today's date, you'll see an assignment that looks like this. Ours will be called Sentence Builders as well. And if you click on it, it just opens it little. You actually want to open the whole assignment, okay? Now, we know that the assignment has instructions here. They're not on this example, but there will be instructions on what to do for the example. But over here is the part that is different that we're not used to doing. Those of you that put photos and upload on your WRTR to Google Classroom will be a little bit more familiar with this if you know how to do this, but this is why we're practicing, so that we become a little bit more capable with using assignments in Google Classroom. So anytime I give you something to do in Google Classroom, you will see it says your work. See this? Your work. And then there will be something in here. Okay, this is the file that you need to open to work on. Usually it will be a Google slide, but sometimes it might be, if we get a little bit better with typing, it might be a Google document where you can type into it, or it could be something else. We don't know. So what you want to do is open where it says your work, and it will be titled with your name. So when you click this, it'll open a new tab, and then the work will be right here. Now, if you look up here, the name of it is Sentence Builders Example, but your name will show up on here. It will say Sentence Builders Mrs. Bouvier, or Sentence Builders, whatever your name is, which is great, okay? So when you open it up, then you'll be able to do what it asks you to do. Now you can see on this one here, it has directions right here, and it tells you what to do. Those same directions I will have written in the instructions back here in the main Google Classroom part. But when we come here, I'm just going to shrink myself so you can see it. There's a couple of really important things that we need to pay attention to. Number one is this little arrow thing. This arrow thing you need if you're going to move stuff, okay? This little T box, it's the same thing as the T in Seesaw. If you want to type something, you can make a T box. And then there's other things you can do here, but most of the time, these are the two that we're going to use. So let's read the instructions and see what it says. Number one, click on the word to see the blue outline. So we want to make sure we have the arrow, and then we're going to come down here and click down here. Now, did you see how the word turned blue? That means that's the word I'm able to move. Now, it can be a bit tricky, but see how if I move it over top, I've got this plus sign with arrows all over it. If now I hold my mouse button, I will be able to drag this thing around. See how there's a box following my circle? That's the actual penguin word. And if I stop right here, it's going to move there. If I don't have that cross thing, it'll actually go in and want to type for me. Or if I have a different looking thing, I can actually make it bigger or smaller. So if you're trying to move it, first of all, make it go blue on the outline, and then just move your mouse carefully, usually on a line, to make that cross thing, and then you'll be able to move it where you want to move it. Okay, so I'm going to move it back here for now. Now, the other thing that it wants us to do down here, it says type the sentence. So see in the blue box, it says type here. Now, if I just click in here, oh, I can see my little, that's called a cursor, the line that's blinking like that. I can type in here, but first I got to get rid of the stuff that's in here. So practicing with where your backspace button is, or your delete button on your keyboard, is really important. You might want to get mom and dad's help with that. And once we delete that, Once we delete that, we can actually type in here. So I can type with different letters. Now, this is something else that if you haven't been practicing your typing or you haven't really typed before, you might need some help from mom and dad to let you know how to make capital letters or where the letters are, or how to make spaces, okay? So one of the biggest things to do, because we know sentences start with capitals, there's a button called Shift. And if you hold Shift and then touch the button, the letter, it'll make a capital letter. So that's really important. Shift and a letter will make a capital letter. Also making periods and question marks and exclamation marks, you might have to look on your keyboard and find out where those are. The other thing that kids tend to do when we're first learning how to type is put 800 spaces between a word. So if I'm typing the word the, I'm going to put a capital with Shift. Then all I do is hit the big bar at the bottom, the space bar, one time. So it might not look very big, but I only hit it one time before I type the next word. I don't need to hit it 16 times in between my words. That's not how we do it when we're typing. All you need to do is hit it one time. And this space might not look very big, but it actually is the perfect sized space. So only put a one space between each word when you're typing the word again, okay? If you make a mistake, you're just gonna back up, hit the backspace button or hit the delete button if you don't have a backspace button, okay? So let's go through and try this one together. So first it wants us to drag the words and put them in order. Oh, so we've got penguin and have scarves, the bear. I know which one goes first. It's the one with the capital letters. So again, I'm going to click in this box. If I'm not clicking or things are being weird, make sure that that little arrow is clicked. And then I want to find the cross with the arrows on it. And I'm going to drag that to the beginning of my sentence. Now what? Oh, look at the picture, the bear and the penguin. So let's put bear next. I think this is bear. I'm going to look for the arrows and drag it and drop it. And I'm going to have to put it pretty close to each other, but we don't want them on top of each other or spread out all weird. We want to line them up nice. The bear and, oh, there's and. That's a sight word. I know that word. The bear and penguin. There it is. The bear and penguin. Uh-oh, now I'm out of space. So just like when we're writing in our journal or our WRTR book, when we run out of space, we just go to the next line. We do the same thing here, okay? The bear and penguin have, here's my word. I'm going to grab it with my arrows, have, and then my last word is scarves. I know it's my last word because it has punctuation. So I'm going to grab that guy and pop him right at the end there. Okay, so now it says type the sentence in the box. Okay, so I'm going to come into the box. If it's not typing, like if you don't see the cursor right away, usually if you just start typing, it'll put a letter. If it doesn't, sometimes you have to click 2 times to make that happen. So now all I'm doing is typing this same sentence that I just moved with the boxes, making sure to use capitals and punctuation. So I'm going to find Shift and type the T and then type the rest of the word, and you know how to spell them because they're right there. Leave only one space between words, the bear, space, and space, penguin, space, have. Now, see, I can keep typing, so I don't need to put have on the next line. I just keep typing, and in fact, if I keep typing and I get to the end, the computer is so smart, it'll move it down for me, okay? The bear and penguin have space, scarves, and then I need to find this exclamation point. You might have to use Shift to do that. Perfect. The last thing it says use the checklist to check my work, and I can move these little check marks. See that? So I practice my fluency by reading to myself. Ooh, let's read it. The bear and penguin have scarves. Looks good. Check mark. Pop it over there. Oops, I didn't grab it because I didn't have the arrows there. Okay, I checked my writing for a capital letter. I got it. Yes. Check mark. Punctuation. Yes. I've got it at the end. It's right there. I'm checking the part I typed, right? Good spelling. Yeah, I checked all the words as I spelled them, so that looks great. And then finally, good spacing. Remember, one space between each word. Once I've checked all of that, the last thing I'm going to do is turn it in. Okay, so So the last thing I want to do is turn this in. Okay, so I've completed all my directions and my instructions. Everything looks great. Just going to go back up to the tab to my Google Classroom assignment. So remember over here where we clicked on it to get into it? We want to come back here and we want to hit the turn in button. Okay, sometimes in the assignment itself, up here, see where mine says present or share, it might say like turn in or whatever, but usually it doesn't. So usually we just want to go back to the assignment and then click the turn in button. By the way, right here, this is where you write private comments to me, like, Mrs. Bouvier, I had some troubles with my capitals. Can you help me? Or I'm not sure how to spell blah, blah, blah. This is where you would write comments to me. Where it says class comments, that's what everybody's going to see. So you don't want to put private things there. You want to put them where it says private comments. Once you hit the turn in button, because you're all done, you're going to turn it in again. And then you'll notice once you're done that, there's no turn in button anymore. It's all gone. The other thing you're going to notice, if I try to go back in here, it's not going to let me do anything. It won't let me move. It won't let me change it. If I try, oh, well, it's still letting me change this one. So that's not a good example. Let me go away. Oh, yeah, okay. So let's change that one. If we come back in here and I open it up again, it's not going to let me change it. See how it says view only? If I try to change something, nothing will work. Once you've turned in an assignment, you can't change it. So if you made a mistake on your assignment and you have to fix something or you forgot to do something, what you do is you unsubmit your assignment. And then if you notice, there's the green turn in button again. So if I go in here, it probably still says view only. So we want to close that one. But then if I open it up again, because I unsubmitted it, it's going to let me be able to edit it and move things around like that. Okay, so make sure you're done before you come back and turn it in. And if you turn it in by accident, you need to unsubmit before you can change it again. But make sure it's turned in before or when you're all done, because if you forget to turn it in, it marks it as missing in mine, which is not how you want it marked. Okay, so I know this is tricky. We're going to work on it together in class too and practice. And this whole week, we're going to do one every single week, and they'll be the same sort of thing. So we'll get practice moving little boxes around and practice typing and practice submitting or turning in once we're finished.